What up, folks? This is Pop Culture, I'm Alex Pop, and today is a holiday that isn't nearly celebrated enough. The third Tuesday in May is National Dinosaur Day. Some of you may already know that Jurassic World 3, or Jurassic Park VI as I prefer to call it for the time being, is my most anticipated movie of the foreseeable future. It is going to be the Jurassic Park movie that I've always wanted to see. The premise of the upcoming movie mirrors a story I wrote when I was 11 called Shadows of the Past. It was about a world where dinosaurs came back to life, and humans had to deal with them on a day-to-day basis. I could not be more excited to see that idea I came up with as a kid on the big screen. And with the Indoraptor being the last hybrid in the series, I am looking forward to seeing the focus be set entirely on real dinosaurs. So for National Dinosaur Day, I want to go over the dinosaurs that I would most like to see in Jurassic Park VI. Now the title of this video isn't entirely accurate. This is actually going to be two top 5 lists. The first of these is the top 5 dinosaurs that have already appeared at least once in the franchise, and I want to see return in the next movie. I'm not going to include any of the no-brainers on this list. Blue and Rexy are going to be in it beyond the shadow of a doubt, and the Mosasaurus and Pteranodons more than likely. I'm also not going to include Brachiosaurus on this list. I imagine it will return because we see the species labeled on the embryo case at the end of Fallen Kingdom. However, it's my preference that it doesn't. No Brachiosaurs made it off the island when Mount Sibo erupted, and after the Brachiosaurus was the first dinosaur we saw in the first movie and died such a beautiful death as Isla Nublar was destroyed, I think Brachiosaurus should be remembered as the dinosaur that lived and died with Jurassic Park. So without further ado, here are the top 5 dinosaurs that I want to see return in Jurassic Park VI. Number 5. Gallimimus. While these guys have already had a good amount of screen time appearing in every movie except Jurassic Park 3, I think they're a must for the 6th film as well. It's a wondrous sight seeing flocks of galleys running through an open field like wild horses, and I would love to see some of that on the mainland, like a sequence where Owen takes Macy for a ride on a dirt bike and they drive alongside a herd of Gallimimus. We see at least 2 of the species escape from the Lockwood Manor, so I think we can bet on seeing them in JP6. Number 4. APATOSAURUS. If we don't see Brachiosaurus again, we still need to emphasize just how big life can get. So it would only make sense to bring back the next biggest dinosaur in the franchise, though maybe the third counting the Mamenchisaurus in the Lost World. I keep picturing kids in the back seats of cars getting excited when they see these giants out in a valley they're driving by. Having never appeared in any of the first 3 movies, APATOSAURUS should be the largest icon of the Jurassic World trilogy. That, and I would like to know that it paid off when I helped save the APATOSAURUS by the Dinosaur Protection Group's Adopt a Dino campaign. Number 3. CARNOTAURUS. This is one of the coolest looking dinosaurs we know of. While it was great to see its debut appearance in Fallen Kingdom, we mostly just saw it get its tail handed to it, with one getting flipped over by the Sinoceratops and then crushed to death by the T-Rex, and later another being chased away after trying to get a taste of Eli Mills. There should be at least one scene in Jurassic Park VI that really showcases how much fear can be stirred by this mouthful of teeth with a bad attitude. Make it happen, Universal. Number 2. COMPSOGNATHUS. There is so much potential for scary scenes featuring these tiny pack hunters, especially if you just start reading the original Michael Klayton novel. Early sections of the book are about investigations into Compies wreaking havoc after escaping from the island. They carry out the single most disturbing death in anything with the Jurassic Park name on it, and if you've read the book, you know which part I'm talking about. I definitely think the 6th movie shouldn't go as far as to depict a death scene as cruel as that, but there's still inspiration to be taken from the novel for frightening scenarios with packs of Compsognathus creeping into houses and causing terror. They'd be almost like an airborne virus that would make people seal up all their doors and windows at all times. I would be really shocked if they don't think of anything like this by the time production for the 6th film begins. Number 1. DILOPHOSAURUS. This is the one dinosaur I've been waiting to see again ever since I saw the first Jurassic Park. The idea of it being a poison spitter was ingenious, and it made it one of my favorite creatures in the whole series. It was absent in the 2nd and 3rd movies, and its presence in the 4th and 5th has been very discreet, with just the hologram in Jurassic World, and its calls being heard at the beginning of Fallen Kingdom. Another full appearance is long past due. Even if it's just one sequence that's equivalent to the role in the first movie, I would be satisfied. No Dilophosaurus made it off the island when it blew up, but its name does appear to be on that case of embryos, so that gives me some hope. They cannot miss the opportunity to include them in Jurassic Park VI, because it's likely going to be the final film in the franchise. I know I'm not alone here, so Universal, save your fans the disappointment and give us Dilophosaurus. Before I go on to the next list, here are a few honorable mentions. Sinoceratops. This is one of the most beautiful creatures in the series, and their presence on the mainland would be a great addition to the sixth film. CERATOSAURUS. If not CARNOTAURUS, then there should be an appearance by some other boss-looking medium-sized theropod. Ankylosaurus. It would be awesome to see how tough this heavily armored dinosaur is in another fierce fight with a carnivore not as hyper-strong or intelligent as the Indominus Rex. Like a Ceratosaurus, maybe? And Stygimoloch. This was a standout new species in Fallen Kingdom, and it would be very pleasant to see it again in the next movie. And so with every installment, there's always going to be some new creatures. One of the most likely new ones for Jurassic Park VI is one of Colin Trevorrow's favorites, the Dreadnoughtus, which would be the single biggest dinosaur in the franchise if it does show up. However, there are a few other dinosaurs that I would like to see for the first time in the realistic manner in which the Jurassic Park movies depict dinosaurs. So here are the top 5 new dinosaurs that I want to see in Jurassic Park VI. Number 5. Metriacanthosaurus. This species has been living on the island ever since the first movie. We know this as the name is seen on the embryo storage when Dennis Nedry steals the vials. And it was listed as an attraction on the Jurassic World website. So why is it that we've never actually seen it? Fallen Kingdom was the movie that finally put Baryonyx on the screen after all the implications that it had been around since the first movie. So similarly, I think Jurassic Park VI should be the one that shows Metriacanthosaurus in the flesh. Even if it's just a small moment akin to the appearance of the Ceratosaurus in Jurassic Park III. Number 4. Herrerasaurus. Standing about 4 feet high, this is another carnivorous species that was living on the island during the first movie. This we know because it was on the Jurassic Park brochure prop that had copies made of it sold to the public. The Jurassic World Herrerasaurus toy has a somewhat hunched posture that makes it look rather clumsy. If the Herrerasaurus was to have a similar design in the movie, it might make for a predator that a human could be able to fight off. Also, part of that story I wrote when I was a kid involved a family living in fear of Herrerasaurs roaming the woods. It'd be nice to see that other element thrown in. I'd be able to see more of my vision as a kid on screen. Number 3. Microceratus, aka Microceratops. These cute miniature ceratopsians had a small part in the Michael Klayton novel, and they were among the dinosaurs featured in Jurassic World's attraction, the Cretaceous Cruise, though none were seen in the movie. And sadly, none made it off the island. In fact, most of them had died before the eruption from hydrogen fluoride ingestion due to volcanic ash landing on their primary source of food. But seeing how they're another one of Colin Trevorrow's favorites, I don't think he'd pass up this final opportunity to feature them on screen. I think one could be a central dinosaur character, like one that Macy takes in as a pet. That kind of human-dinosaur connection would be a very sweet addition to the story of JP6. Number 2. Maiasaura. It's not inconceivable that these duck-billed dinosaurs could appear. They are featured in the game app Jurassic World Alive with a sort of zebra-striped skin pattern, and in the original novel, a Maiasaura mother and her baby actually had the role of waking up the kids in Dr. Grant that was given to the Brachiosaurus in the movie. If you ask someone who was really into dinosaurs since they were a kid what species was well known for caring for their young, 9 times out of 10, they'd say, Maiasaura, it's in their name, good mother lizard. With maybe the 1 time out of 10 saying Protoceratops. One of the things the Jurassic Park movies do best is capturing the ways that dinosaurs fascinated us as kids. So I would be all for the 6th film including a sequence where humans witness a Maiasaura tending to her hatchlings. That would be wondrous. Number 1. Troodon. We are really changing gears after the number 2 slot. If Blue remains the last velociraptor and there needed to be some other small brainy predator, this should be the one. Troodons are featured in the 2011 video game Jurassic Park the Game. While I've never played the game, the description that YouTuber Klayton Fioriti gave of these dinosaurs was chilling. Apparently, they are nocturnal pack hunters and are basically like giant parasites. Their bite injects venomous saliva that causes seizures, hallucinations, and eventually paralysis, allowing the Troodons to lay their eggs inside their victim's body and the babies would eat their way out. These definitely sound like the most savage brutes in any piece of Jurassic Park lore. If they were a main threat in Jurassic Park VI, they would create some very frightening scenes. They might just stick with the classic velociraptors, which I wouldn't mind, but man, Troodon would be something new, and it could perhaps take Jurassic Park to levels of scary that it's never reached before. Here are another few honorable mentions. Hypsilophodon. In the original book, these were the first dinosaurs seen on the tour, and I think it'd be a cool homage to the book if we got to see a herd of these little dudes bounding through tall grass. AMARGASAURUS. We've seen species from pretty much every dinosaur family, so there should be some more variety within those families. And AMARGASAURUS is one of the most distinguishable sauropods with 2 rows of spines along its neck and back. And GIGANOTOSAURUS. Some paleontologists have said that this carnivore rivals the T-Rex as the king of the dinosaurs. I think we've seen enough Spinosaurus after Rexy crashed through its skeleton, so it'd be great to see a fight scene between her and a Giganotosaurus where she wins, further establishing her dominance over all the dinosaurs. These lists may contain an overload of ideas. I'm sure not all of them are going to make it into the film, but I'm confident that I'll be able to see at least a few of them, and I'll be overjoyed when I do. We've got just 2 years left to wait, and a year and a half for our first hint when the teaser trailer drops. That's a wrap, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed this list, and be sure to let me know in the comments what dinosaurs you'd most like to see in Jurassic Park VI. Like and share, subscribe for more. This is Pop Culture, I'm Alex Pop.